This is my new electric bike, and I'm super pumped up because this is one of the first ones on the market. Couldn't find any videos online except today. The company actually released their teaser video, and this was sent to me by my friends at Tamobyke. This is the V29 series. So you've probably seen the V20 series. This is a little bit more upgraded model of the V29 and the V29 Pro. And so let's go ahead and open it up. I'll show you all the parts and pieces, and then we'll go ahead and put it together. So after removing all the packing, this is everything that comes with it. And when I do my e-bikes, I like to ratchet it to the ceiling because I have that option. If you're doing this by yourself and you don't, it comes with this foam block with this big black foam. And this one is real thick and sturdy. So just put that right under the pedals and you should be able to do it by yourself. But if you have two people, it makes it a lot easier. So here are all the parts and pieces that come with it. You got your second battery, which I'm going to take off both batteries in a little bit and make sure they're topped off so that whenever I'm done putting it together, I can go for a ride. It comes with two chargers. You can see right here. This is a 48 volt system. So you can see 54.6 volts at 2 amps is your charge rate. But then you have a little tool bag with a phone holder. Again, spare battery, pedals, instruction manual, warranty card, extra tire tube. I've never seen that before. That's real nice. Front fender. Then you get kickstand, bike pump, and all your tools with your little toolkit. If you want to put a little license plate on the back, you can. This is what that's for. And spare brake pad. So that's real nice to have with this bike. So let's go ahead and start off with step 1 from the instruction manual and start putting this bike together. We've already done step 1 and 2. Step 3 is use the M5 Allen to remove the stem cap right here. So the next step is putting the handlebars on. As you can see in the video, the wires come through the middle. And if I were to mount them like it is, the wires would be on the outside. So when I turn to the left, it's going to really pull on these wires. So I'm going to put them in the middle. Just take your 5M Allen, loosen up this screw, and then loosen up this one. And you should be able to lift it straight up. Now be careful because now this is loose, and so this stem could, fall straight down. So now that we have it off, I'm going to pass my wires through this side. And then do that step opposite and put this back on. Tighten these two sides once I have it where it needs to be. But I want to make sure that this is all the way up. So I'll pull it all the way up, and then I can push everything down and get it back on once it's lined up. And then we'll put the handlebar mount on and mount the handlebars. Now when putting it back together, you want to make sure that both sides, that you've tightened them back up all the way. And this piece especially, I've seen some e-bike videos where they've assembled everything, didn't realign the front, so they left this loose. And they've tried to turn one way, and as you can see, the suspension didn't turn, but the handlebars did, and it doesn't end well. So you want to make sure it's nice and straight, put it good and tight, and then loosen it up later to get that alignment that you want to make sure the handlebars are straight. When mounting the handlebars to the stem, just unscrew the bar clamp and then put the handlebars at the right angle you want. Again, make sure those wires are in the front, and then just screw it back down at the angle that you need for your riding comfort. Next, we move on to the front tire. So we're going to go ahead and pull it out from under here and remove. Each side has a nut and a keeper that you want to take off, because this little angle right here is what you want to put in the up position to keep that axle in place. And it also is like a little washer. Before I put the tire on, there's something I want to show right here while I have this step. We want to make sure that it's seated right all the way around, which means that this little edge right here, this rough edge, is supposed to be inside that lip of the rim. So it's supposed to lock in to the rim right there. And the best way to make sure that that happens is we're going to put a little bit of air, and then we're going to kind of squeeze it all the way around. So I've put a little pressure on it. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. And then what I want to do is I want to kind of squeeze it at the top right here. So I squeeze and rotate and make sure that the rim is seated on all sides right in there. As you can see, this one, see right here, it's kind of low. So I want to squeeze that and make sure that it's at a good spot. And it looks real even all the way around on both sides. Then I'm going to inflate it some more and keep repeating the process until it's all the way inflated. But you'll know once it gets kind of firm that it is locking in. And if it looks pretty even, just inflate it to the recommended amount. Before I slide the tire in place, I'm going to remove the brake wedge, and that's just keeping it to where the brakes stay separate for when I slip the disc right in there. So just be careful and guide it in between the tire and make sure that the disc goes right between the brake pads and the brake caliper. Once the tire is in place, put the little keeper where it goes in that little alignment hole, put on the outer nut, and then use your 15mm wrench to tighten it on both sides. And you want to do this at the same time. Next is our front fender. You're going to want to remove this nut and bolt right here, and then you're going to want to remove this screw here on this side and the same one on the opposite side. Slide the front fender from the back, replace the nut and bolt, and oh, I do want to point out there's Loctite on a lot of these screws I'm seeing, so that's a good sign. Otherwise I would have to put that on myself, and I definitely like seeing that on all these nuts and bolts. I'm going to put all this on, and I do want to say check all the ones that you didn't put on, like the headlight and everywhere else. You want to make sure all the nuts and bolts are nice and snug. Next we have the kickstand, and again, more Loctite, and this is threaded. So when you put it on the back side, it's going to screw into the kickstand so it's nice and secure, and then you have these lock nuts for the back side, which are a 10mm, and the front is a 5M Allen. Before I install the pedals, which is pretty much the last step besides plugging everything in, I would like to do the back tire. So I'm doing it the same as the front. I'm going to inflate it a little bit, and then I'm going to kind of squeeze and make sure that it's seated on the rim on both sides correctly, and then inflate some more and make sure it's seated, and so on and so on. Just keep doing that until I know it's on there right, and then inflate it to the proper amount, which I believe it says here is 20 psi. Next up is the pedals, and you want to make sure you get the right one because the threads are different, and it has it listed here, 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 and here, so you can see which pedal is the right one, and it's actually imprinted on the threaded part. So we're doing the right side. It's going to go on the right side like this, and you want to turn it in that direction. And each of the stickers tells you which direction to turn it in, and just spin it all the way tight. Then use your 15mm to cinch it the rest of the way. Do the same on the opposite side. One of the final steps is plugging in the display, and that's the green. And you see they line up. It actually has two little arrows, and just push those together. Then we will do the orange ones, and the orange is going to be your electronic brakes. And the same thing, they have little alignments, and you're good to go. Before we turn it on, I just wanted to go over the controls real quick. So it does have hydraulic brakes. Rear is on the right, front is on the left. You have a half twist throttle, which means only half of it twists. It's not a full twist. Shimano shifter right here. Then you have your display. Over here is your control for the display. So to go up and down to faster mode, slower mode, power button, which also is an info button. I'll show that in a second. Then on this side, this is your headlight, your blinker. So the left blinker, middle, right blinker, and then your horn on the bottom. To turn it on, hold down the power button, and then it'll boot up. On the left here is the speed that you're in on the electronic display. So that's the fastest. So when you twist it, it's going to take off at the fastest speed. If we go down to 1, it'll go down to the slowest. Then right here is your speed right in the middle. Here's all your information and your battery bar. As you can see, I didn't quite charge it all the way, but if we tap the power button, it'll cycle through all your different options. So your odometer, the trip, so this will be the trip that you're on. If you turn it off, turn it back on, and then you press it again, you're going to see the voltage. So we're pulling, it's 50.8 volts. You can see it's real sensitive. It's definitely catching a good voltage. That's a real good meter. Then this is the current. So if we boost it, you see it shows the current, and back to odometer. So you got a bunch of different settings there to cycle through. All right, so that's pretty much how to put everything together, how to turn it on. And I want to go over a few more of the specs and features. Now, the hydraulic brakes are a big deal. These are Logan hydraulic brakes, and it has a port so that if you ever have to do any kind of bleeding or just clearing your system and redoing the mineral oil, they have a little port. So that's nice that it's going to be easy to do some maintenance later on down the road. Now, the big screen, the wide seat, those are all big pluses. The dual suspension in the back. The V20 series only has that single shock in the back, whereas this one has dual shocks. Now, I didn't reference my height. I'm 5'7", 180 pounds. So you can see when I get on it, kind of how it fits me. And I really like it. It feels really comfortable. Didn't think I'd like the tall handlebars, but it really fits quite well. I'm partial to the full throttle myself, but I have ridden a few e-bikes with the half twist, and it's not a big deal. I think it's still a great system to be able to use. Now, as far as the numbers on the motor and everything, this is a 48 volt system. It comes with a 1500 watt hub motor that has a 2000 watt peak. Again, 48 volts, 15.6 amp hours on both batteries. So you have two batteries that are 15.6. And it has a top speed of around 30, which again, I have to test all these things out. But the company claims top speed around 30. And the range is going to be from 30 miles to 60 miles. And that depends on if you're pedaling using the pedal assist. It does have pedal assist. Or if what mode you're riding in and how that drains the battery. But I think it has enough power to ride on a bunch of different terrains. It has a great seat that I kind of skipped over, but the seat is ribbed, so it's not going to slide around as much. And it's also tapered, which if you hadn't ridden a bike with a wide seat, depending on your size, it does get kind of aggravating, like on your thigh. So in the tapered part, if you scoot forward, that makes it a lot more comfortable on long rides. I've just had that as my experience, so I thought I'd share that. But this is a great seat. It's also super soft. I like the fact that it has signals on the back. The brake light, when you push the brake, the light comes on in the back so people know when you're stopping. Nice big headlight. So this is a great bike. I really like everything about it. I think that the V29 series is going to be a great bike, upgrade from the V20. And I didn't talk about the V29 itself. So this is the Pro model, but on the V29, if you're looking at that one, it's a 1000 watt hub motor with a single 48 volt, 15.6 amp hour battery. I didn't look up the numbers on the top speed and the range on that one, but they're going to be pretty similar. So I do like this one. The weight, as far as the weight it can handle and how much, so it weighs 89 pounds. And it doesn't quite feel like it's that heavy, but it is 89 pounds. The max capacity on it is going to be 265 pounds is what the company states. But I think they've created a great bike here. And this is something I know I'm going to love to ride around my neighborhood, to go on some trails with, and even take my kids out for a ride.